I came to this place that's very close to my house where I live. I just wanted to come out here to see if there's anything to photograph. I wanted to give myself a self-assignment because lately, to be honest, I haven't been photographing that much just for myself, because that's something that I used to do quite a lot. And there will be also assignment for you in the end of this video. And I picked this place because it's a bit random to come here to find something to photograph, because there isn't much. I tend to challenge myself to find locations where I have never been before, or a familiar location to find something new to photograph. Challenging yourself is really something that you should do if you want to be a better photographer. What I have with me is the 17mm f1.8 lens, and the body is EM10 Mark IV. And I also have the 12mm F2.0 lens, and I will compare those lenses too, even though they are quite close to each other. But remember, stick around to see the assignment that I have for you. Hi there, my name is Peter Forsgard. I am an Olympus visionary and a professional photographer. And before we get into the photo challenge that I made for myself and comparing the 12 to 17mm M.Zuiko lenses, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit that bell so you get notified when there is a new video online. My channel is all about you getting to be a better photographer, and of course it's about Olympus gear like this time, the 12 to 17mm wide-angle lenses and mosquitoes. But let's start. Okay, the assignment that I gave for myself is to make two images here, very close here, not go far away, and with totally different moods. The other image should be joyful, happy, and tell that I'm really happy now, right now. And then the second image, the opposite. It should be sad and kind of like a feeling blue. Not this kind of blue, but anyways, you know what I mean. Making a sad image. So two different images, joyful and sad, on this place. And what would I start thinking? First, of course, we need to think what are the things that make an image joyful, happy, or on the other hand, what makes it look a bit sad and melancholy, or whatever that word is that describes the image. Now, of course, the first thing is that joyful images are most likely colorful, maybe bright, and of course, the subject matter is something that might decide. If you photograph a happy face versus a sad face, that could be the thing. But I don't think that's enough. I think the most important thing is the character of light, of course, and that makes this particular assignment a bit hard, because the light is same. I could come here later at night when it's really dark here and get that melancholy, dark, maybe a bit scary image, but I'm not for scary, I'm more for sad image and a happy image. And it's not going to be easy. I don't know, what are your thoughts? What would you describe to be a happy image, or image that makes you smile, makes you feel joy? And then what about an image that might make you feel melancholy and relate to the photographer? Because that's always the thing. If I can show the emotion so that you can actually see it and even feel it, then I think I do have a strong image. It's going to be a tough, really tough thing to do, but let's see how I can do. Before I start making those images or thinking what I'm going to photograph, let's talk about these two lenses. As I said, I have the EM10 Mark IV because this is my go-to camera nowadays, and on an assignment like this, I think this is a perfect combination. Nice weather, don't want to carry too much stuff around or with me. And I have the 17mm here and the 12mm here. Both lenses, as you see, are really, really small and goes perfectly with the smaller OMD bodies, and of course pen cameras and Pen F too. And I think the 17mm was the kit lens for Pen F camera. Both are quite old. Actually, the 12mm lens is one of the first, or I think it was the first prime lens, or I think, sorry, second, because the 17mm 2.8 was the first prime lens, and this one was the second prime lens for for Olympus Micro Four Thirds cameras. And the features on these lenses are quite similar. The biggest difference, of course, is the focal length and the fastest aperture. The fastest aperture difference isn't that much, but of course the focal length is something that is a bit different. And here are images taken from the same spot with 17mm and a 12mm, and here you can see the difference. And when I was packing and thinking about this video and what to bring, the lenses, the body was no-brainer. This is, as I said, my go-to camera now. I decided to take these two prime lenses, and then I started also to think that what are the lenses for me? Would I use these a lot more if I did not do professional photography? Because as a professional photographer, I do need weather seat lenses, and that's why I have a set of prime pro lenses. But if I wasn't shooting as a professional photographer, most likely I would have 12mm, this 17mm, then I would have the 25 and the 45 M.Zuiko lenses, not the pro versions, the M.Zuiko lineup lenses, because those are really nice and small, and I really like when my gear is nice and small. So most likely I would have these. I probably wouldn't need pro lenses at all. Maybe the only pro lens that I would have is the 12 to 45mm f4 zoom lens for like a walk around lens on my travels, and then these fast primes could be the lenses for those night moments when I want to do some street photography or photographing the surroundings when it's a bit darker. Then I need a faster lens. All right, I've talked about the gear quite a bit, but let's start talking about those images and what do I think when I start making those images. Okay, first of all, I will start with the easier one, the sad, the melancholy image. There is a lot moody things. There is a waterway. I don't know what that's called. It's not a river, but I don't know what a small waterway is. There is a broken bridge over there. All right, let's go this way, and there is something that's really interesting and would be a great image for this sad image. All right, and it's this way. The sun is coming straight to my face. Let's go here. It's over there. The river goes there. Maybe I'm standing in front of it, and maybe you can see it. It's right behind there. All right, let's grab the image. What I really want is there are some plants in the front, and then there is the river with full of fallen down trees and leaves and some reflections. But I try to cut the sky away because it's too bright. I want to have it so that there are more shadow than light, so to make it more melancholy. And of course, I will do a, what would I call it, some kind of a treatment in Lightroom so that it will get a bit more moody. Remember that always part of the mood comes in edit. I will show that image later, but now I will change to my 12mm lens, and let's talk a bit more about these features on these lenses. Okay, that was maybe the easier photograph to take, the melancholy photograph in this area. Now it's the hard part, to get an image that will express joy. But before I start thinking about that, let's talk about a few other features on these lenses. Both lenses have MF clutch, which I really like and appreciate because I use quite a lot of manual focus. And then there is the depth of field scale, which is really an interesting feature, and that tells you how much depth of field you will get with your lens, with different focusing distance and with different aperture. That's a very handy feature, and it helps to determine how much depth of field you have. And then the closest focusing distance. This 12mm f2.8 lens has 20 centimeters and the 17mm has 25 centimeters. And here you can see side by side what the difference is when you're using it as a close-up lens. I decided to have a wide-angle lens on this self-assignment, and there are a few things about that you should think about when you're using wide-angle lenses. is that usually when you're looking at a scene like this, you see it's pretty cool looking scene. But if I would take an image from here with wide angle lens, it wouldn't be anything because there's nothing in the front. I won't have any what do you call a layers in the image. But having something like this in the front would make a totally different image. And always when you try to make an image, try to have different layers in your photograph, because it's a two-dimensional photograph, and try to make it 3D with different layers. That will make your wide angle shots a lot better. But I think it's time to make the joyful photograph with the 12mm lens. Let's see if I can find something. I saw some maple tree over there, and there is sun shining straight at them or through them, and I thought that most likely will be a good image. And those leaves are still green, even though there are lots of red and yellow maple trees already here in southern Finland. But that particular one is still green, and it's in perfect light right now. So I might hurry over there so I can grab the image. Oh well, the best part is already gone, but luckily before I filmed the previous clip, I took the image. What I was looking for was the sun coming through the maple leaves, and used f/22. The reason that I used f/22 was that I wanted to have a sun that looks like a star between the maple leaves, because it was a bit windy and the leaves were moving. And I will show you those two images that I made. The first one that was a bit melancholy, sad, and the second one was joy and happiness. But before I show those images, let me tell you the assignment that I said in the beginning of this video that I will give you. Go out and shoot an image that expresses some feeling, mood, like I did today. It can be anything that you can choose. It doesn't matter what the feeling is. And send that image to me. There will be instructions in the description of this video, or link to the description. There will be a link in the description to the instructions how you can send your image to me. And then I will go through those images and give you feedback on my next live stream on next Tuesday. And this was filmed on this date, and send your images by this date. And I will have the live stream on this date. So if you're watching this afterwards, sorry, you missed the opportunity. But I hope there will be some more opportunities in the future, because that is something that I might do more regularly. And here are some more videos about this lens and the 17mm, which is in my bag over there. And then, of course, the other one is a link to the blog post where are all the instructions for you to send the images. But hey, thanks for watching, and bye for now. And don't forget to challenge yourself.